My parents would take my brother and I to the beach almost every day, and I was the kid with the bucket and the plastic bucket collecting all the seashells and the horseshoe crabs. So I think that being exposed at an early age to marine life really started the curiosity in me to want to learn more about the marine environment and the natural animals found in the marine world, and just fascinated by dolphins and their anatomy and the adaptations that they have to surviving in the aquatic environment. You know, what really captivates me about just the marine world and then also dolphins is how little we know and how we're learning more and more every day. How they're still discovering, you know, different species in the marine environment is fascinating to me. When I went to college, I studied a mixture of both biology and psychology, because having a mixture in the training field is extremely important. You need your biology classes because you want to learn about the anatomy and the adaptations that marine mammals have. But in the training field, it's also extremely important to have a foundation of learning theories, because the theories that we use to teach the animals behaviors and to train are all based in psychology. It just became very natural to me to understand these philosophies of, you know, rewarding good behavior, you know, with something positive and ignoring unwanted behavior. And that's exactly how we train the animals. You just reinforce them for good behavior and then ignore if they're incorrect. So having that mixture absolutely helped throughout my college career. So I always would balance the biology, the science, and the psychology. A typical day in the life of a dolphin trainer can vary on the time of day that it starts, but the earliest it'll start is about 6 a.m. and that trainer comes in and prepares about 300 pounds of fish per day for all of our dolphins. We feed two different kinds of fish here at Marineland. We feed herring and capelin. They come frozen in about 25 to 30 pound cases, and then we sort through them. A trainer is responsible for sorting through about 300 pounds of fish. We don't feed our dolphins anything that's not totally intact and perfect looking. They eat very, very perfect looking fish. They have very strict regulations, so they get the best quality of fish, which is important to us. Each animal will get a specific amount of fish. Just like people, dolphins need different caloric values, but what we'll do is we'll take the caloric value of each fish and figure out the calories that that animal will need, and then weigh out that mixture of herring and capelin into a specific amount for that diet. And then we'll place it in the buckets, put some ice on top of it, keep it nice and cold and fresh, put it back in our cooler, and then it's on to scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing. We'll clean the entire kitchen, the sinks, the floors, the wall, all of the buckets that we use, clean the refrigerator floor, make sure everything is pristine by the end of food prep. Once all the food is prepared for the day, we'll come up and do a visual exam on our animals, just inspecting their bodies, making sure that everything looks nice and healthy, asking them for different behaviors for them to show us different parts of their body. And from there, it's a variety of programs, training sessions, enrichment sessions where we'll enrich the dolphins with different toys and objects. So it's a variety of different training sessions. This opportunity here allows me to have guests come in the water with me and interact with an animal, learn about the dolphins on a hands-on experience, a hands-on level, so that they're seeing the adaptations in front of them that these animals have, and they're experiencing what a dolphin really feels like. You know, I'll never forget the first time that I touched a dolphin, or the first animal that I ever, fed. It was pretty, pretty memorable event, to say the least. So now I'm able to watch that happen multiple times a day, where it's the first time that sometimes people have ever even seen a dolphin this close, To watch that quiet smile, go across their face. It's just a great feeling knowing that perhaps there's a connection, perhaps I'm inspiring some kind of stewardship, that these people will now leave educated about dolphins, leave learning, knowing something that they didn't perhaps know about these animals to begin with. Training the dolphins is pretty amazing, because you're benefiting their lives, you're stimulating them mentally and physically, and you're doing something that will benefit their care. You're training a behavior that will allow us to take better care of them or educate the public in a different way. Usually what we'll do is we'll take a behavior and break it down. It's kind of like working with a puzzle. So you start with one little piece and you continue to add on the pieces as you go until you have the completed puzzle picture. But of course, it's not always that easy, because there's no way for me to just tell the dolphins, well, this is what I would like you to do, and show them the picture of this is what the behavior will look like. So it can be challenging in a way, because there is that communication barrier. So it's just a matter of recognizing your steps along the way and making sure that you're always reinforcing the animal and you're always setting them up for success. There's moments when you're training and the animal takes that leap forward, and it's just amazing when the light bulb goes off and they jump to the next step, and it's a very, very cool feeling to know that you're trained that behavior with that animal, where you're like, wow, I was able to teach this animal a brand new behavior, and it's a real sense of pride in your work. The most rewarding part of my job is probably building my relationship with the animals, building individual relationships with each dolphin. It's those quiet moments that I think the public might not see, simply us just feeding the animals, rubbing them down, playing with them. It's that one-on-one time that is really special to us, because that's what we use to build a relationship of trust with them. Everything we do with them is voluntary. I can't make a 500-pound animal do anything. So I'm asking them for these behaviors, and they're, voluntarily doing them for me. And that comes from that strong bond, that strong relationship we have with them. Some of the misconceptions, I think, are that it's potentially, just all fun and games all day, swim with the dolphins, play with the dolphins, go home, and that's definitely not true. As a dolphin trainer, I put in long hours. You work in all kinds of weather conditions, if it's cold or hot, or if it's raining or sleeting or snowing. We're out there feeding the dolphins. That's our job. It's important to us to care for them. So there's a lot of hard work, a lot of long hours, a lot of cleaning. I think a lot of people don't realize how much cleaning is involved with this job. A large amount of our day is spent cleaning the habitats themselves, cleaning the areas around the habitats, cleaning the dolphins' buckets, cleaning our kitchen. And that's all done because we can provide these animals with a clean and healthy environment, and that is paramount to us, because it'll only benefit them in the end. So we're scrubbing pretty much everything throughout the day, if not twice a day, but all to benefit the animals in the end. It's a competitive field, so you have to be prepared to hear no a lot. A lot of people want to do this, and I'm very fortunate to be lucky enough to love my job and be passionate about it. So you're going to hear no a lot in the beginning, but that doesn't mean necessarily to give up. It just means to work harder and get your foot in the door and try going about it a different way maybe. But in the meantime, learn as much as you can and prepare yourself as much as you can, because when that moment comes where you are given the opportunity to shine and given the opportunity to, join a field you are passionate about, you should just take it in and enjoy the ride.